let's do an update. It's been a really long time. I think it's been like 3 weeks since I've given you guys an update. I've already had my second Taxol, which is the second chemo that I've been getting. I did end up having a reaction to Taxol the first time, which I was like really nervous about. I remember mentioning that was a possibility, and it happened. Which we were able to get me to tolerate the chemo with like up to steroids and Benadryl and more meds, which isn't fun. I really did not want to take more steroids, but I will do what I have to do to tolerate this chemo, because I think my bigger fear was that I wouldn't tolerate it even with more meds, and we would have to discontinue the Taxol. Which, talking to my oncologist, they said they would have just switched my chemo regimen. They wouldn't have stopped treatment. So that's good to know. We had an appointment with my oncologist. We've been seeing the nurse practitioner, who's so lovely and actually ends up being an old neighbor of ours. But with my first Taxol, we got to see my actual oncologist. And, I got to ask questions because, with my lump shrinking, I was very curious about maybe a lumpectomy would be an option for me. Not that I would, I think, go through with a lumpectomy, just because with how many benign lumps I've had in the past and had to get biopsied, I don't think I could go through that trauma if I were to keep my breasts. But it ends up not even being an option for me, because my oncologist had said that my tumor was so big it covered all 4 quadrants of my breast. And so with that basically takes me out of even consideration for a lumpectomy, even with the shrinkage. Because, and I didn't know this, my chemo is targeting the invasive ductal carcinoma, the cancer that spreads to my lymph. It is not targeting the non-invasive carcinoma that I have. So even when chemo is all done, I will not be cancer-free. Which leads me to, I am understanding that I will never get that cancer-free diagnosis. That isn't something that oncologists can give me. They can give me a no evidence of disease, which is, I guess, their way of kind of saying like you're cancer-free. However, in my case, that essentially means that they've removed the cancer that they could physically see, which would be in my mastectomy. So I'm not even sure that they're going to give me the no evidence of disease. I hope that they can. I'm not sure that they can in my case, and I didn't feel like I got that from my oncologist, so I'm crossing my fingers and praying that that is the case and that I will get a no evidence of disease at the end of this. But so yeah, that was a really hard pill to swallow, because I guess when you are what they call a cancer muggle, a person who has not been through cancer treatment, does not have cancer, you think, okay, they've been through chemo, the cancer's gone, they're cancer-free. I mean, the cancer journey is not over after chemo, is what I'm trying to say. And for a lot of people, it turns into radiation, surgery, hormone therapy, and I'll be getting all of those things. So cancer treatment continues for me after chemo, and I do want to make that clear, because I feel like it's kind of a misconception that when I'm done chemo, I'm done cancer, because I'm not. I still have like a year left of battling, and then probably 10 years after that on hormone therapy. So really, it's 10 years of treatment left until we can reevaluate whether I can come off treatment, basically. We are going for the double mastectomy because with that, it gives me only a 1 to 3% chance that I would get the cancer again in my breasts. You can still get breast cancer after a mastectomy, which I had no idea. So just another thing that I can have in my head as a fear. But I'm going to have confidence in the fact that I am not only in active treatment for the next 5-10 years, but that I will also heal myself inside and out holistically with exercise, the foods I'm eating. I am going to be committed to my health and to remaining I wanted to say cancer free, but I guess to remaining healthy is really where I'll have to put that. So with that, I'm in chemical menopause, as you know. I think I've mentioned that, where they've completely shut down my ovaries because of the hormones. And I did ask, how long will I be in menopause? And my oncologist had said pretty much for as long as we can have me in menopause. So forever. Which then leads me to family planning. As you know, and I've mentioned before, I would love to have a second child. And so if we decide to move ahead with having a second child, that would mean surrogacy for us, because it would not be safe for me to carry a child and have those hormones and come out of menopause, which we prepared for before chemo, right? We did my egg harvesting and we had embryos frozen. So yeah, that'll be another thing for us to think about within this journey. I have my second to last infusion chemo on Friday, and I'm anxious because, to be honest with you, whenever somebody says, and people can't know this, but unless they've been through it, but obviously I want to be done chemo, but when people say like, you're almost done, I'm so excited, but I'm also anxious, because being almost done chemo means that it's time to lose my chest, and I'm not ready to lose my chest. I don't think I ever could prepare to lose something that has been a part of me my entire life and that I've grown to love regardless of my body image issues. So I think that's going to be a really hard step for me. I'm really not looking forward to losing pieces of me that I had never planned to lose. And then after that I have radiation and then reconstruction. And it just feels like while I've crossed that bridge of chemo, I'm moving on to harder things. So we're going to get through it. I have the support that I need.